The 20th Panzer German Division is next in our list of battle group overviews. This is the newest addition. Well, the newest out of 2 battle groups that have been added to Steel Division 2. My previous battle group review was about the 29th Armored. Now let's look at the Germans. So we already have a new unit here. We have the Panzer 3M in the Recon tab. Really good tank actually to have in Phase A. You get 3 of these. They have a really good gun. They have a 50 mil that is both really accurate, has a decent penetration when you look at the AP shells. When you look at APCR, it has an even better penetration and a really good accuracy there in general. So really good tank to use. I wouldn't really take this out in the open to have a head-to-head fight with like enemy, I don't know, with any enemy tanks really. I would just use these in the flanks or behind your main armored column to try to save this guy as much as it's precious. So don't just move it out in the front. In the Recon tab, we have some general units that we've already probably seen in the other battle groups. We do have these really nice Speertruppen that have the MG34. Also very important that you do put these guys on return fire if you don't want these to expose themselves, because that range of 750 means that these guys will pretty much shoot at anything that comes even close to the front line and you will expose them. What I've used in Phase A is the Speertruppen, so I do need to micro these guys. I have 3 of these and these really awesome looking SDKF set 24-7Bs. Looks like a predecessor of modern armored vehicles, so that is really cool. It also has a MG42 on the top, so you won't lose those transports. As I said, some Panzer 3Ms in Phase A as well, and we have some of the same Speertruppen in Phase B, since we got 6 of these. And these guys are pretty good all around. In the infantry tab, not a lot of new units. Now this is a division that is kind of, you could say, underdeveloped for this age or for this phase of the war. It is pretty weak in general, but it does have its really nice unique units to use, kind of like that recon tank that we just discussed in Phase A. But yeah, it is definitely not the strongest German division out there. So in Phase A, 4 cards of infantry in total. We have these Osttruppen instead of the Ersatztruppen in this case, since the Osttruppen do carry some MG, well, they carry the MG34, so they have some long-range interaction capabilities or engagement capabilities. And I do like to use some cheaper infantry to fill up the ranks. We have some Panzer Grenadiers, really good units in general, 2 machine guns, 2 MG42s, and I've put them in the half track here, the 251-1 with a machine gun on top there. Probably an MG34 as well, or a 42. I think that looks like a 34. Yeah, I think it is. But yeah, so let's continue here. In Phase A, I also have some Sturm Pioneers, and I rarely use Flame Troops, but since we're kind of low on really high quality infantry anyways, I've put a lot of these guys in this battle group as well in both Phase A and Phase B, so we have 4 of those. And to top it off, I have some leader units, the Panzer Grenadier Führers, that also carry some smoke nades, which is, as you guys know me, smoke is very important. And now we have an interesting transport, the half-track 251-1 with a massive gun on top. And yeah, let's just have a look at this, right? So what do we got here is a 37 mil. Isn't that awesome? It is an actual pack 35-30. It is a big gun on a half track, and actually has some really good values for it. You could even take out some tanks with that 55 mil penetration. Like that is just awesome. That is just awesome. So I've just put those in there, and to balance it out, I do have some of these half tracks with machine guns. Obviously, I don't want just these big 37 mils. So in Phase A, some more Sturm Pioneers, 8 of these on medium veterancy, some more Panzer Grenadiers in the same half track as these guys, and once again leaders with the big gun in Phase B as well, and 4 of these guys that carry the Panzerfaust. So we do have some anti-tank capabilities here, but mostly it is down to the Panzerfausts that are in the Panzer Grenadier units' hands, or yeah, like the flamethrowers, or we just need to use our tanks basically. We don't have a lot of anti-tank capabilities here. Yeah. Now, I could put some of these guys in Phase A, but I told myself this is a more defensive battle group. So I don't really want to make any big pushes with this. I could, but I don't want to risk it because our tanks are kind of class cannons. So I put most of my really good units in Phase B instead, and in Phase A it's more of a defend the front line kind of battle group. Now speaking of tanks, I've not even bothered filling it up. It's really cheap tanks. We have the Panzer IVs, really beautiful looking tanks if you ask me. 75 mil with some decent values, so you could actually do some damage in Phase A, hence the reason why I put most of my tanks in Phase A here. So 4 of those. We have some Panzer IVH leader tanks in Phase A as well. Pretty similar to this guy, a little bit more armor, and yeah, the gun is exactly the same. But it carries 2 MG34s instead of just 1, so it is better at infantry killing. In Phase A I also have the IS... Is it the IS-2? I think, yeah, this is the IS-2 captured tank, the Buta Stalin. Yeah, Yuji makes a habit of using like captured tanks in battle groups, and I do think that is a really nice touch. Really good tank to use. You can only use this tank in Phase A. Amazing penetration on this. So if you're up against the Russian battle groups that do not have the IS-2s, you'll actually be able to do a lot of damage with this guy here. And to top it off in Phase B, we just have some more meat shields, some more Panzer IVHs. What we also have, a newest addition here, is the Panzer IIILs. Fun tanks, not strong, good in Phase A, probably good in like the beginning of Phase B, but as soon as the enemy calls out some IS-1s and IS-2s, you're basically done, because this guy is not going to be able to hold with those armor values, especially for the top. It does say strong, but any tank these days just gets wrecked immediately. And I don't think those values actually change, so yeah, just scratch that actually. Yeah, but like compared to this, Panzer III is just gonna die really quick. So I would use this more as a support tank instead. What we also have is some more captured tanks. We have the T-34-42, the Russian tank with a 76.2 mil gun. I've not even bothered putting this in because the Panzer IVHs are, well, the T-34 has a better front armor and also side and back armor, but the Panzer IV has a better gun. And obviously, or honestly, if these get hit in the face by a strong tank, it's gonna die, no matter what the armor values are anyways. So I just went for those guys instead. In the support tab, kind of the similar loadout to what I usually go for. So we have some MG42s in Phase A to support any infantry pushes that I do, or just to hold the town and suppress anything that tries to get near it. We have some flame half-tracks, really fun vehicles to use. It pisses the enemy off big time. It actually has 2 of those cannons on either side. And what else you can get in Phase A is the Panzer IIIN, a new addition. More of an, yeah, it's basically an assault gun actually. Fun to use, good against infantry, good at stunning things. Yeah, but once again, it is kind of fragile. So if you do choose these guys, make sure that you protect them. They're really precious. In Phase A, you can also go for some flamethrower infantry, some IG-18s. Once again, a support gun, some more MG42s, or the Panzer IV F1 in this case, which is a really fun assault gun as well. And I might actually just put this in there just for the memes. So if we compare these two, let's see what the main difference is. So the Panzer IV F1 does have a better armor. No, actually no. The Panzer IIIN has better armor. The Panzer IV F1 has a better gun over there. Both at max range, but the F1 has better penetration, and that is actually it. And a better rate of fire. Yeah. So it might be fun to use these instead of the grill. But yeah, the grill will outmatch these guys in terms of suppression and damage. I can tell you that much. Yeah. If you want to check those out, do put them in the deck. I have put the code for this battle group in the description, so yeah, go have a play with it. What you can also go for in the support tab is go for a leader in the form of the Panzer IIIK tank. Really fun tank to use as well. I've kind of took it for a spin in skirmish, and it's definitely fun. Really nice to killing any light or medium armored vehicles. When it does encounter some of those heavier tanks, it quickly flops. So what I went for is a half-track commander. Although it does have a gun, I just put this way in the back as long as it's able to connect to all the leaders on the front line. So in the anti-tank section, some new units are the Panzerjäger RSO. Really fun looking vehicle with a 75mm pack 40. So does definitely pack a punch. Excuse the pun. But yeah, I've put 2 of those in there. We also have this little guy here. 76mm Zis 3 AT gun. Good in general. You can get 1 of these in phase A on the medium veteran, so you can get 2 on the lowest one, but I wouldn't even recommend using that. So instead I went for the 45mm since I get 3 of these guys, and I get an armored transport as well with an MG, what is that, 34? Let's just check that out real quick. MG 42. Okay, I was wrong. Some AT infantry in phase A, since I said that I really didn't have that much high quality infantry there. So to help out with any tanks, I have 3 of these Panzervernichtungs infantry or anti-tank infantry units with the Panzerschreck that has a really nice range and a really good penetration as well. It's an 88mm, so yeah, it's gonna do some damage. As for AT guns, I have some more pack 40s in phase B. 4 of these guys on medium veterancy. You can get 3 of them in phase C, but usually in phase B I like to set up any defenses that I can, and in phase C I either just hold or I push. So it's really no use in getting more anti-tank guns in phase C, in my opinion, unless these guys just quickly die out. You can also go for the pack 43, but these are such a big target on the front. What you could do if you want to actually use these no matter what, and since we are up against those IS-2s, let's remove these and put in 2 of these in phase C. Hopefully these guys can stop the IS-2 horde. In the air tab, very naked, I just put 4 of these Flak 43 37mm in phase B, and my air tab takes care of the rest. These guys are really good, so actually 4 of these will keep your airspace very secure, in my opinion. In the artillery tab, a lot of mobile artillery, so I went with 2 of these half-track mortars, which carries the 81mm. Really one of my favorite mortar units to use. You can quickly fire some shells and then move away at a pretty good speed there. In phase B I have some of these Wesps, 105mm self-propelled artillery gun, basically max range. And in phase C I have some of these Wurfrahmen 40s, which is MLRS. Interesting. Which carries 8 of these 280mm shells, but I think that is an error because it should be 6. Or am I just crazy? Yeah, I think that should be... Why is it 12? I don't know, maybe it has like some extra stockpile in the back here. That's probably it actually. So in terms of other artillery pieces, you can also go for the work in progress off-map artillery. I think this is going to be a 250mm. I'm not quite sure. Actually, no. 220mm. Yeah, there it is. 220mm off-map artillery might be worth putting in there. Obviously, it's just a placeholder, so I wouldn't really worry about that too much. We also have some Hummels, which is a 150mm self-propelled artillery. You can also go for these howitzer-type artillery pieces, although these are very slow, so you're prone to being countered and actually being killed really quickly. So yeah, there's a lot of artillery you can choose out of. I just went for these self-propelled variants. In the recon tab, we have the Go 145B recon plane, which also carries some napalm in this case. 2 50kg napalm bombs. So it might be actually useful to either napalm off the road leading up to a town or just burning infantry. Because do remember, napalm sticks to kids. That is a horrible joke, I'm sorry. In phase A, as I said, since I'm focusing a lot of planes instead of AA in my battle group, I've put in 3 of these ME-109 G2s. They carry a 20mm on the front and a machine gun on the front. So not the best plane, but if you have 3 of these on the highest veterancy, they're going to do some damage. So that is all for phase A. Here in phase B, I have 2 of these Ju-87 D5 cluster bombs. And as you know, these are really effective. And that is all I have for phase B. In phase C, I have some Ju-87 D5, the Stukas. And this one carries a 500 kilogram bomb, so that should be able to take out some heavier tanks. And in phase C, to help out with my air supremacy, I have 4 ME-109 G6s, and instead of just a machine gun, it has 13 millimeters instead, on top of the 20 mil autocannon, and these are really fast as well. But by far, the fastest plane is that Russian plane that I talked about in my previous Battlegroup review. But that was it. The code for this is in the description, so give it a spin and adjust it to your own liking. I think this is a pretty balanced loadout for now. Some people might put in more AA and maybe less planes, but that is up to you. And if you've enjoyed it, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.